When Mark Shapiro was asked about the possibility of extending either Vladimir Guerrero Jr. or Bo Bichette, he replied by saying the priority is just to sustain the opportunity to win. I interpret that being keep your franchise icon that has torn up the league since his debut.
A hat trick for Bo Bichette!
Words cannot describe what we are witnessing today from Bo Bichette.
But how much would that cost? Would Rogers Communications okay a mega extension, or will he be suiting up for a team like the Dodgers in 2026? Well, let's find out. In the past 5 years, we've seen a massive shift in money dispersed positionally to make shortstops the second highest paid position behind pitchers. I mean, just look at this crazy money. Lindor $341, Seager $325, Turner $300, Bogaerts $280, and many more above $100 million. But to truly understand where Bichette lies among these elite shortstops, we need to compare their stats. Off the bat, we can exclude all the guys below Correa because it's obvious Bo is clear of them. So that leaves these 5 guys. And when I say compare stats, I'll be looking at their numbers from the 3 seasons leading up to their extensions and averaging them out across 162 games to get an idea of how Bo stacks up. To start, let's go over their slash lines. The combined 5 of Lindor, Seager, Turner, Bogaerts, and Correa put up a 293 average, 359 OBP, and a 495 slugging for an 854 OPS. Now let's see how Bo has done in his past 3 years. He's produced a 298 average, 339 OBP, and a 476 slugging for an OPS of 816. As you can see, Bo is lacking a bit in his power metrics. It's the cost of him using all parts of the field because more often than not, hitting it to the opposite field means that you lose power. And as we all know, Bo Bichette is one of the best at poking a single into right field. It's what makes him so special, and is why he has a slightly higher average, but is a decent ways behind in slugging, which is further shown when comparing their other stats. Per 162 games, the top 5 put up 39 doubles, 28 home runs, 91 RBIs, and 104 runs, compared to Bo's 37 doubles, 26 home runs, 96 RBIs, and 101 runs. Again, Bo's numbers are lacking just a tad, but he is performing better in the runs driven in category. Not to mention, he has 199 hits per 162 games compared to their 184. 15 hits over the course of a season is pretty significant. The only huge dramatic difference in their stats is in WAR. Per 162 games, the 5 put up 5.9, while Bo is behind at just 5. 0.9 WAR is pretty big. In the MLB, people like to say 1 WAR is worth approximately $8 million. So over the course of a 10-year deal, which most presume he'd get, that's $80 million off, a pretty hefty sum. But there is a variable in this, and that's Bo's defense. As we know, he did not have a great defensive year in 2022. In fact, in terms of defensive WAR, it was 1.8 worse than what he had in 2021 and 2.1 in 2023. That negative figure severely hurt his total WAR and is a reason why he is so far behind in this metric. Now that we've compared all their stats together, it's pretty fair to say that Bo is right in the middle of these 5 elite shortstops. So that would mean he's looking at around 10 years for $280 million. But it's not that easy, and there are a few reasons why Bo unfortunately costs more than that. Let me explain. As mentioned before, defense was a big drawback of Bo Bichette. I mean, how many times do we hear people say, oh, move him to second base, he can't play shortstop? And that was one of the main reasons why an extension between the Jays and Bo couldn't be reached, since it was hard to truly evaluate him. Because what club wants a terrible defender in one of the most important defensive positions on a 10-year contract? Nobody. But now that he has solidified himself as at least an average to above average defender, his value has only gone up. Another key aspect to look at here is the age at which each player signed. If you look at the top 5, 2 signed at 27, 1 at 28, 29, and 30. Bo is only 25 right now, meaning he could potentially be asking for a 12-year deal to take him through his age 37 season. After all, it wouldn't be a crazy ask since the top 5 are all signed into their late 30s. With that in mind, we can bump the term we talked about earlier to 12 years instead of 10. Then when it comes to the money aspect, it's tricky because with each year that goes by, contracts get more expensive. That's why we're seeing every season players break previous records in not only baseball, but every single sport in North America. Because of this, I'd put a price tag around $27 million per year, just below the average Trey Turner signed. This means I think Bo's contract would be around 12 years and $320 to $340 million. That's a pretty hefty sum, and personally, I don't like these long contracts. I mean, are you really going to tell me that Xander Bogaerts is going to be worth $25 million when he is 39? No. Seriously, how often have we seen a 39-year-old be worth that much money? But that's where the market is at right now. Players are signing for a decade long, and if the Jays want to keep Bo in town, then they're going to have to compete with the offers he'd most definitely receive elsewhere. That wraps it up for this video. If you enjoyed, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This may or may not have taken 12 hours to produce, so I'd greatly appreciate the support I can get to continue making these high quality videos. Alright, I will see you in the next one.